do I make moon go around this Earth? So one way that probably let us approach this step by step, right? What if there was something at every point, another sprite at every point on the Earth, and since it's also having an angle, we always move this move the another sprite away from it by some amount, and probably that will sort of do the trick. So let us try doing that and see how things would work. And the way to do that, right, is let me try and duplicate this object, right, this sprite at every point, like whenever it is moved and when it shows, create a clone of it, right? Just make an exact duplicate of it. And what happens is in the control section, you will see this option, create clone of myself. So just when I show it, I say create a clone of myself. What will happen is I'll see a lot of this sprite object staying there. That's fine for now. We'll see how we solve that later, right? But that's basically the idea. I think we just created a lot of them, so which is fine for now. But we also need to destroy this clone sometime later. But let's do that one step at a time. Probably if you have seen, if I stop the program, all the clones go away, which is fine. But what should the clone do? What I want the clone to do is, as soon as the clone is formed, I want it to move slightly ahead. So what I will say is, when I start as a clone, move me forward by how much? Let's say another 50 steps or something. And maybe also this will sort of looks like this now, right? You can see that it's always there in front of it. Let me actually reduce the radius a bit, maybe 90, right? And you will see this is no sorry, radius is good to be 100. So this is the Earth that is going around. Let's also increase the radius again, maybe 110. Yeah, you see what's happening here? This is the Earth that's going around, and these are the clones. We create a clone, we move it forward, and that's it. That's how it looks like. Okay, that's happening all the time. So what we want to do is, when I start as a clone, I move 50. Maybe 50 is not such a good idea. Maybe I'll say 20. So yeah, it starts pretty close. So what I can instead do is I can go to looks and reduce the size of my clone. Right? Please try all these things slowly. Go through this video one by one, pause it and give it a try. This might get confusing, but the more you try, the more you will get it. It's essentially a visual trick that we are trying to do. Okay. As my clone is moving 20 steps, I also want that clone to reduce the size. Moon is smaller, right? So I'll say set size by, so if this is 20, let us make it maybe half of that. So 10. Sorry, minus, right? So if 10 is making it big, minus will make it small. So yes, it's already small. Let's also increase maybe this to 30. And yes, we can see it's going around now. But that doesn't look right? It's also leaving out the previous shapes in between. We don't want that to happen. What we actually want to happen is, we want the clone to also get destroyed towards the end. So what we would do is, we will go to control, and we will also say delete this clone after moving. But it's probably happening too rapidly. So what we would do is put a weight, just like what we have over here. Let us put weight before we delete it of 0.01. 0.001. Let's align it with this timing. And now we see basically everything is flickering. So there is a reason why it is flickering, because we are directly trying to delete the clone. What we should do is, we should hide the clone first before deleting it. Right? So like this, hide and then delete it. So now you see it's actually going pretty smooth around it. but we also want it to rotate a bit faster, right? It doesn't look like it's going around the Earth. It looks like it's also making a separate orbit altogether. And that's also very easy to achieve. Over here, we will always rotate it by some more angle. So we would probably do something like this, rotate by maybe 50 degrees more, right? And you see it's actually going by some amount. But that's not exactly how we should be doing it. What we should actually do is we should actually take its current rotation angle, whatever that rotation is. We see direction, there is a direction, and we should probably multiply it by some amount. So what we should say, in point in the direction, instead of saying rotate by, we should say point in the direction of, let's use multiplication there, like this. Its current direction, that is what we will get from the motion. Its current direction. And if you want it to go faster, maybe something like 3. Let us quickly see how it looks like. Yeah, you can now see it's going around. If we make it more, maybe 5. Yeah, you see it's going around. And we can increase the quantity. Actually, we can also make it 10. It will go very fast. But now there is a problem. The moon doesn't look like a moon, right? So how do we make moon look like a moon? Is again, when I start as a clone, I need a new costume, right? Because it's the same sprite at the end of it. So I need a new costume. So let me quickly add a new costume. Do we have something like a moon? Okay, I don't have something like a moon. Maybe a ball I can use. Yeah, this looks fine. I'll probably try and use this. Okay. So what I'll need to tell in the code is I need to tell the clone to use, okay, let's name this as moon. Sorry, the baseball thing as moon. Okay. Let's go back and let's tell when I start as a clone, also change my costume. So that is in the look. Also switch my costume to moon. And there you go. We have a moon going around Earth, Earth going around Sun. We have just built an entire orbital system.